Ever think about, how much different communities really shape the places we live? I mean, it's something we all experience, but maybe don't always like stop and think about,
Yeah, it's all around us.
exactly. So today we're gonna take a closer look at that idea, focusing on a recent development in New York State that you might have missed.
Yeah, this is some really interesting news out of Albany. And it highlights, the growing recognition of a really vital part of New York's identity, I think.
For sure. So we're doing a deep dive today into the formal recognition of the Pakistani-American community in New York State.
Okay.
And we're going to be looking at some news excerpts that detail the passage of two really significant resolutions by the state legislature.
And they were unanimous too, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, unanimously. So our goal today is to kind of understand, why these resolutions matter. What do they tell us about the Pakistani-American experience in New York specifically? And what can we learn from this about how different communities across the board contribute to the fabric of our society as a whole?
It's a great example.
Yeah. So, okay, here's something that you might find surprising. New York State has now officially designated not one, but two specific days
Yeah.
to honor the Pakistani-American community.
Wow. Two.
Two? Pretty significant, right?
That is huge. Yeah. That's not just symbolic. It's like, it's a real statement.
Yeah, and it really kind of underscores the importance of this community and their impact,
For sure.
So what are these 2 days? Well, the first one's coming up actually on March 23rd, 2025, and it's officially designated as Pakistan-American Heritage Day.
Okay.
And the second one, just a few days prior, on March 19th, 2025, will be known as Pakistani-American Business Day.
I like that they have two separate days, one for heritage and one for business.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, getting something like this to happen takes work and organization. A lot of effort goes into this. And a key player here, from what we're seeing, is the American Pakistani Advocacy Group, or APAG,
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of them.
and their president, Ali Rashid.
Right.
And they've really, spearheaded this effort.
Yeah, the sources we're looking at definitely emphasize how dedicated they've been to making this happen. It's also worth pointing out that the Pakistani Consulate in New York has been really supportive throughout this whole process.
Yeah, so it seems like there's been a real collaborative effort to get this recognition.
Definitely.
Now, in terms of who actually championed these resolutions in the legislature, we have Assemblymember Nader Saya, who introduced the Pakistani-American Heritage Day resolution in the State Assembly.
Okay.
And in the State Senate, the Pakistani-American Business Day resolution was introduced by State Senator John Liu.
Got it.
And here's what's really interesting. Both of these resolutions passed unanimously in both the Assembly and the Senate.
Wow, that's impressive. That doesn't happen every day, right?
Not at all.
Like, what does that tell us?
It seems to indicate a really strong consensus and a really widespread acknowledgement of the value that the Pakistani-American community brings to New York State.
Yeah, it really speaks to their influence and how well integrated they are across all these different sectors.
Absolutely. So let's start by digging into that first one, Pakistan-American Heritage Day. What's the core message behind this resolution?
Well, as the name suggests, the main focus is on recognizing Pakistan's rich cultural heritage. But maybe even more important for us here is the fact that it formally acknowledges the really significant contributions that the Pakistani community has made right here in New York.
Yeah, and when we talk about those contributions, the resolutions actually get pretty specific, right? It's not just like a general pat on the back.
Oh, no. They name names and highlight achievements across a whole spectrum of fields like education, medicine, science, technology, business, and even industry.
I mean, think about it like the Pakistani-American doctors who've been serving in New York hospitals for years.
Yeah.
Or the engineers contributing to all sorts of different infrastructure projects. I mean, these are tangible impacts that we see every day.
Absolutely.
And it paints this picture of a community that's, deeply involved in so many different aspects of life here.
Totally.
So now let's shift gears a little bit and focus on this Pakistani-American Business Day resolution.
Okay.
What's the driving force behind that one?
This one really zooms in on the successes of Pakistani-American entrepreneurs and business professionals all throughout New York State. It's about acknowledging their really crucial role in driving the state's economy.
The resolutions talk about their contributions to economic growth, creating jobs, and even revitalizing, diverse residential areas.
Yeah,
And the resolutions also point out their role in enriching New York's cultural and social fabric.
because those businesses often become like hubs for community interaction and cultural exchange. They're not just places to buy things, they're places to connect.
Totally. And it's not all about financial contributions either. The resolutions acknowledge the philanthropic endeavors and, the active community involvement of Pakistani Americans all over the state. It's a really well-rounded view.
Yeah, it's not just one thing. It's this whole package of positive contributions.
Right. They're building economic prosperity, but they're also actively contributing to the social well-being and cultural richness of New York.
Exactly.
Now, it seems like this wasn't just, a legislative process happening in a vacuum. There were some pretty high-profile diplomatic figures present for these moments.
Oh, yeah. This wasn't just some behind-the-scenes thing.
Right.
Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, Rizwan Syed Sheikh, actually went to Albany himself to be there when these resolutions were being talked about and voted on.
Wow. So, that kind of involvement from the ambassador really shows you how seriously they're taking this.
Yeah, definitely.
It shows how significant this recognition is on a broader diplomatic level.
For sure.
And the Consul General in New York, Amir Ahmad Atozai, was also there, along with the APAG team led by Ali Rashid.
Right, so you have all these people coming together, community leaders, advocacy groups, diplomatic representatives. It shows just how collaborative this whole effort was.
Yeah, and the sources even mentioned that they were all acknowledged and honored during these sessions, which I think is a really nice touch.
Yeah, it is.
So what did Ambassador Rizwan Syed Sheikh have to say about these resolutions?
Well, he specifically called out the Pakistani-American Business Day resolution and talked about how important he thinks it is for building stronger ties between businesses in New York and in Pakistan.
Yeah, he probably sees it as this pathway to, more trade and investment opportunities.
Exactly. And it makes total sense. It's not just about recognizing the community here in New York. It's about those international connections, too.
For sure. And he gave Ali Rashid a shout out as well, right?
Oh, yeah. He made sure to recognize Ali Rashid's hard work and, his success in making this whole thing happen.
Yeah. Which, again, it just emphasizes the power of advocacy.
Yeah.
So what about Assembly Member Nader Sayeh? He was instrumental in getting the Heritage Day resolution through. What were his thoughts?
He had a lot of praise for Ali Rashid and the whole APAG team. He talked about how dedicated they are, not just to the Pakistani community, but to humanitarian causes in general and to strengthening U.S.-Pakistan relations.
So he sees their work as having this really wide-reaching positive impact.
Absolutely. And it sounds like there's a real genuine personal connection there, too. He talked about his friendship with Ali Rashid and, how much hard work went into making this happen.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that kind of personal touch,
It is. And both the New York State Assembly and Senate actually presented Ali Rashid with official citations and proclamations.
Wow. So, that's a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah, it's a formal way of recognizing his leadership and the impact of APAG's work.
And Consul General Amir Ahmad also chimed in with his appreciation, didn't he?
He did. He expressed gratitude to the Assembly and the Senate for their support. And then he specifically praised Ali Rashid and his team for all the work they've done to strengthen those bonds between the U.S. and Pakistan.
It really sounds like there was just so much positive energy and appreciation surrounding this whole event.
Definitely.
Now let's hear from the man himself, the president of APAG, Ali Rashid. What did he have to say about all of this?
He called it a truly memorable occasion for both the Pakistani-American community here in New York and for the entire country of Pakistan. He really echoed that sentiment that this Business Day resolution is a historic step and will be crucial in fostering, closer business ties.
And it sounds like he's got some concrete ideas about how this Business Day can be beneficial, especially in terms of connecting different regions.
Right. He talked about how this resolution is meant to help create more business opportunities within New York State for all 4 provinces of Pakistan.
Wow, so they're really thinking about this on a large scale.
Yeah, it's not just limited to one specific area or industry. They want this to have a broad impact.
He also touched on APAG's broader mission, right?
Yeah, he made it clear that their work goes beyond just these resolutions.
Yeah, like they're involved in a lot of different things.
He highlighted their advocacy for things like women's empowerment and youth rights.
Which shows that, they're committed to making a difference in a lot of different areas.
And this isn't even the first time they've been involved in this kind of state-level recognition either.
Oh, really?
He mentioned that they were actually key in introducing the Pakistan Day resolution in New York State back in 2022.
So they have a history of this kind of work.
Yeah, they've been consistently working to, raise the profile of the community
Yeah.
and celebrate all their contributions.
That's awesome. And they've been involved in some pretty big events in New York City too, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like what kind of stuff?
He mentioned the tradition of raising the Pakistani flag at New York City Hall on Pakistan's Independence Day.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, and that's done in collaboration with the mayor of New York City.
That's a pretty powerful symbol of the community's, presence and integration into the city.
Definitely.
They specifically mentioned Assemblymember Nader Sayegh and Senator John Liu for their leadership.
Right. It's important to recognize those champions who really helped make this happen.
Definitely. So for you, our listener, let's try to sum up what we've learned today.
Okay.
What are the key takeaways from this deep dive?
Well, ultimately, what we've seen here is New York State officially acknowledging the Pakistani-American community's incredible heritage and their huge contributions to business and the economy. They've done this by establishing these two special days, and it's a testament to the hard work of the American Pakistani Advocacy Group, all the support from key figures in the government and the diplomatic community. It's pretty amazing.
And why should our listener care about this?
I think this is a great example of how a specific immigrant community can have a real and lasting positive impact on a state and its people. It gives us real insights into how those cultural and economic contributions are being celebrated and recognized in the U.S. today.
Yeah, and it really speaks to the evolving American identity and the essential role that diverse communities play in shaping it.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.